Asbestos kills over 10,000 people every year in the United States alone. When handled improperly, asbestos causes mesothelioma, lung cancer, and other fatal diseases. And workers aren't the only ones in danger. Members of the public are also harmed by unsafe asbestos contractors who put profit over safety. In this video, you will hear from one of the foremost experts in the asbestos field about how unsafe asbestos abatement can endanger you and your family, and from former employees of New York Insulation who have come forward to speak out against the company's unsafe practices.
My name is Dr. James Milius. I've spent many years evaluating asbestos abatement projects and even regulating the training for people doing asbestos abatement. And the problem that we heard from the interviews with some of the workers here was that if those kinds of practices are followed, where one doesn't take the proper precautions to keep the asbestos from becoming airborne, from doing proper cleanup during and after a job, from making sure that the workers use protective clothing, and that protective clothing isn't brought outside of the job site, is that all of those bad practices can cause exposure to asbestos for not only the people working inside the project, but for the people working in other parts of that building or even outside that building, or for the people that may have to reoccupy those areas of a building after the abatement project is finished. If you leave asbestos fibers around, those are going to become airborne again and people can then be exposed. There's also a danger from people bringing asbestos fibers into the general public or into their homes when the fibers are on their clothing and they don't change their clothing or not given proper protection for their clothing and be able to shower and so forth after a job. And what we're doing there is we're endangering people by those fibers, again, can get into a subway car, can get into a bus, can get into people's homes, and their families and other members of the general public can be exposed. And as I described earlier, we know no safe level of asbestos exposure. And a single fiber exposure can lead many years later to cancer. So it's extremely important that complete precautions be taken in every job, and that's why we've designed the regulations and enforced the regulations in a way that is what should take place. When it doesn't take place, we're endangering the workers, the general public, and the workers' families.
New York Insulation was an asbestos handler, and I got promoted really quick to a supervisor. Big violations that I saw when I was working for them, it was we were using grinder without HEPA vacuum attached. It was so much dust that you could even see your partner 5 feet away from you. I have never seen so much dust in an asbestos job. All the violations that I saw, it was that the workers wasn't taking shower when they were going home. They were mixing asbestos with regular demo debris and throwing it out as a regular demo debris. And also they prepare two areas, a good area where they take the DEP inspectors and everything is clean, and the area where they are actually working and have all the violations there.
What type of work did you do for New York Insulation?
I did 3 types of work: remove asbestos, lead paint, and demolition. They didn't put like a water and the asbestos. We remove like pipes without protections, any hole in the floor. They put like the asbestos remove. They go together with the demolition material and they dump to the container. They didn't give like the correct protection for us, like filters. You have to use one filter for the whole week. They didn't give like the suits, like gloves. I'm worried about my future. I don't know if I am sick or because that one you can see after a period of by the time. Nobody to say anything, because if we say something, they fire us.